Hi, this is Marek from TripSolo. Today I have a game that I want to show you, a game published by Leather Games, and thanks for sending the game for review. And this is a game that you have probably heard of. It's called Root. It's quite a famous game. I didn't own this game in the past, so I'm very happy that I will have a chance to play it at home and to play it more, because I've played it I think twice in the past. My friend has got a copy of it, but I never had a chance to play it properly and to try different factions, because this is Root is you can say it's a war game. It's a strategy game, but the twist here is that usually when you think about war games, you think about some real life, historical armies, and here in Root you have animals fighting. In the base game you have 4 factions, and the animals, the cats and birds, and rabbits, they fight with each other about dominance in woodland. And what's cool about this game is that every faction in this game plays differently. It's a very asymmetrical game. So if you play, for example, cats, they play completely differently than birds. Each faction has like a specific board with some specific actions. So the cool thing is that every time you play it, it plays a little differently, depending on the factions that you play and and your friends play. The difficult thing about it is that you have to learn not only your faction but also the other factions, because when you play this game, as I said, it's like a war game. You need to know what your opponents are doing, and you have to know a little about the other factions as well if you want to to win the game and to be victorious. And this game is for 2 to 4 players, but there is an option to play it solo, and there is one expansion called I think Riverfolk expansion, and that included a solo mode for this game, but it was a simple automa. But then there is something I also have. Haha, it's it's Root the Clockwork expansion, and this is expansion dedicated to solo play. But I will talk about it in a second movie I will make about Root. For now I want to focus on the base game, but I just want to let you know that this game can be played solo, and the solo mode is quite cool, because you have automas for every faction that is in the base game. You can even use this expansion to in a multiplayer game when you play with your friends, but you want to have like more factions in this game. So if you play a 2-player game, you can add the automas and have a 3 or even 4-player game with 2 automas. So this is Root. Let's open the box and let's take a look at the components, because the art in this game is amazing. As you can probably see from the cover, it's like cartoonish, but in a really cool and a great way. It's you have the wooden animals, the meeples and everything. So let's open the box. Let's open the game, and let's take a look at what's inside. Okay, so this is the base game of Root. This is how the box looks like. It's a nice, compact box. Compact in a way. It's not that huge, not that big. You can see how the board looks like and how the animal factions looks like. And also you can see a lot of awards that this game have received: Golden Geek Awards, Dice Tower Awards. This game is really popular and also great and liked by a lot of people. And as you can see on the cards, the art in this game is fantastic. You can see the animals here. 2 to 4 players, ages 10 plus, 60 to 90 minutes. As I said in the beginning of the video, there is a solo mode available, but I will talk about the solo expansion in another video. So let's open it. Okay, and we have some really good looking rule books. Walking through Root, an extended example of play. This is cool because it shows you an example gameplay, so you can learn how to play the game. Really nice idea. It's cool when games have an example of play, or at least a few first rounds, because it's a great way to learn how to play the game. Learning to play, and this is, you know, it's cool because this rule book and the main rule book, they are quite compact. It's great because they are not like huge rule books with millions of pages. There is a lot of text, but this format is not that huge. You can see some examples, so it's really nice. We have some zip bags, probably for the tokens that are inside. And this is rulebook number 3, more like the law of Root, and this is more like summary of the main maybe rules or more specific rules. So when you know how to play the game, when you have read through the extended example of play, then you can check this rule book to look for specific, you know, specific things. This is mostly, you know, text. And as I said before, this game is not so easy. I mean, maybe when you see the rule books, it doesn't look like a complex game. But the thing here is that all the factions that we will see now, they are asymmetric and they play differently. They have different ways to achieve victory. They have even different actions. They use cards in a different way. So it's not so easy to learn. Every faction board is nice, a thick cardboard. Shows you how to set up the game. There is a short description, what's the main goal of this faction, how they behave, and, you know, complexity, aggression, and everything. So it's really nice. You have 4 factions in the base game, but there were a few expansions for this game with different factions. You had the Underworld expansion and the Riverfolk expansion. There was even one new recently on Kickstarter, so there are a lot of factions that you can choose from. In the base game you have 4, Vagabond, and, you know, Irid dynasties like birds. You have also the setup and some rules, summary on the back of the faction board. I've played Root twice in the past, and and I always played with birds. So I'm happy that I can try other factions now when I have this game on my own. Marquis the cat, complexity low, setup and everything. But as you can already see, when you look at both faction boards, they are completely different. You have these are the phases of the game: Birdsong, Daylight, Evening, and here you have in the daylight so many actions to choose from. Here you have just 2 actions to choose from. Here you get points by having more like roosts for the birds. Here you need to have more buildings. So it's as asymmetric as it can get. And Woodland Alliance, they are like guerrilla, you know, partisans, and they fight. They need to gather supporters and, you know, defeat the other factions. Complexity high, okay. but it's cool. I mean, the production quality is really good. I mean, the cardboard is thick. It's not like just paper board that it's easy to bend, and it's nice, very nice. And this is the game board. Well, it's quite heavy. The game board is double-sided. Let me try to open it. This is okay, let's be careful. This is the board, the page, and like one side of the board with the forest and everything, and you have different clearings where you put your armies on, and places where you can put buildings, and you move your armies from clearing to clearing and to try to conquer the woodland. But the back of this board, it has a completely different map. It's a winter map, and it's said this is for more advanced root players. But it's cool. It's cool that this board is, double-sided, and it adds a lot to, replayability. And what do we have next? Here we have some tokens. Some tokens are, universal, like you have the items, but here are some faction-specific tokens for the Woodland Empire, for the cats, for the birds. These are for the Vagabond tokens, but not too many of them. This is cool, not so many elements. Here we have the dice. They are used for combat. You have to roll the dice, and one is for the attacker and one is for the defender, and the results tell you how many buildings and army tokens must be removed from the board by the attacker and the defender. It's cool. 2 white dice. It's great that this has an insert, so it's easier to store everything. Here we have the fantastic and great looking animals. Let me show you how they look like. Sorry for the noise. Here we have the cats, and they look really, really nice. They have this, evil eyes and evil look. But this is cool. You have no miniatures in this game, but when you set this game on the table, it looks really awesome. Even without, any miniatures, because these meeples are really, fantastic and great looking. Here we have the birds. The animals in this game are not so, so nice. This is not Everdell or, Wingspan, where you have some sweet birds and sweet, beavers and mouse and everything. These animals, they want, they want blood, they want to fight. They have swords, they have knives, and they are really angry at each other. Here are the mouse meeples for the Woodland Alliance. And this one white guy, this is the Vagabond. It has only one, one token. Cool, really great looking. They look great on photos and they look great on the board when the game is set up. And the last thing we have are the cards. Let's open the cards. Okay. You can see even more art and images on the card. These are the cards that you have a chance to draw during the game. They give you different, abilities. They allow you to craft different, items.
ambush. They look awesome. I would love to, you know, have, I'm not sure if one exists, but I would love to have an art book for this game because it looks really, really fantastic. Great. Mouse in a sec. Rot T. And here's the information about building and crafting stuff. Here we have some information about what you get when you build the thing, victory points and some, you know, items. Sword, crossbow. Cool. And these are dominance cards, because the game ends when someone reaches 30 victory points, or if someone gets the dominance card and manages to, you know, fulfill the win conditions. Like if you win the game, if you roll 3 rabbit clearings at the start of your bird song. Cool. And here are even more cards. I think these cards are more faction specific, because I recognize already some of the cards. Oops. For the Eyrie, for the bird faction, Thief, Ranger. These are for, I think, Vagabond cards. And this is cool because quest card. I think that there are overview cards for each faction, so you can give them to every player, so he can read it, and he's got a, you know, every player has got an idea what the other faction is trying to do, and what style of play does it use, and what abilities does it have. Because in this game, you know, the key to victory is not only knowing what you are doing, but you have to, you know, look at other factions, because first you have to fight them, but also you have to know how to score, you know, victory points for your for the other factions. I think the quest cards are for the Vagabond, if I'm not if I'm right. So it's good that they give like a summary overview for each faction, so every player can use it. So that's it. This is Root. Nice insert, great production quality, great art. Visit my Instagram and visit my Twitter and Facebook, and I will show you some photos. I will tell you how did I like this game, and also how it plays solo. So you will find all the links to in the description of this video. And thanks again for watching, and see you. Bye bye.